Again, completely bullcrapping all of this. Hey guys, welcome back. So in today's video, I'm doing what is essentially a reintroduction to watercolor because it's been about a month or so since I've really done anything with the medium. So I hope you all enjoy the process and I will see you there. So I know it's been a little while since I've actually done a Sketchbook Sunday video, and there were multiple reasons for this, but the main reason is just that I haven't been working in my sketchbook. And I know that that was the purpose of Sketchbook Sunday in the first place, was to create motivation for myself to spend time working in my sketchbook and simply experimenting and getting better. And I have to say that it definitely felt very good to sit down and not really have to worry about the outcome of the finished piece. For example, the very first page that I'm doing here is actually a self-portrait, and in the end, I don't think it really looks that much like me, and there are probably many reasons for this. Mostly, I've just never been very good at drawing myself. I can draw from reference, and I can make drawings look like the person that I'm referencing, but for some reason, I've never been able to do it with myself very well. So I'm not exactly sure why that is. Maybe it's because we have some sort of weird connection to ourselves. But I think I definitely learned a lot from doing that drawing in the first place. And something I've really been trying to make sure I incorporate into my sketchbooks are just things that are different than what I'm used to drawing. And in this case, it's a different body type. And body types have always been something that I've wanted to get better at, and I have been trying to make steps at improving at. And that's why I need to sit down and continuously try to improve at those different body types. Something else I was trying to do in this sketchbook session is find some sort of looseness in the way that I am working, and part of that was using materials that are a little messier in nature, like these pastels, and I was making them interact with water and kind of dabbing them on, and I'm not really thrilled with the way those pages turned out, but it's one of those things that I just needed to get out of my system, and I wasn't about to stop my process and the things that my brain was working with, because that's the best way to get a block. That's what I've found. The next spread that I worked on, I'm actually quite a bit happier with, and I found myself sort of veering away from watercolor for a while, and I really think the main reason I ended up pulling away from watercolor was simply because I have been enjoying my digital work so much, and I don't think that digital work is going to change. I want to make sure that I continue to use other mediums, but at this point, I'm really happy with the way my digital pieces are turning out, so I want to continue making progress with those as much as I can. However, I have been enjoying working in my sketchbook using watercolors, and the self-portrait that I did near the beginning of this video was done with cheap Michaels watercolors that you can get for $5. And I really like that watercolor set. I think you can see in the video just how used and abused my set is. It's pretty near finished. I need to get a new one because I do enjoy using it, especially in my sketchbooks. But this other spread that I was working on, I ended up using my more high quality watercolors, and I'm not really sure what made me want to do that other than it had been a while since I had used them and I wanted to find some way to incorporate them back into my routine. And I really do like the way the spread turns out. It's very disconnected as far as my sketchbooks typically tend towards. I tend to create a lot of overlapping sketches and just generally don't block things as a rule of thumb. I don't block things off into sections. But in this case, it was just a matter of going with the flow, and when I added the green around the first doll-like character, I really liked the way that it turned out. I thought it looked very pleasing to the eye, and I wanted to sort of imitate that effect in the rest of the spread, so I simply added more blocks of color. And as you can probably see, I took very different approaches to each of the pieces on those spreads. The very first, I did my sketch, and then I added my watercolor and my line work, and it was very clean line work. The next one was pencil, and I think there were some gel pens and different things to create an eye. And then the third piece was much sketchier and much rougher, and that was my intention. I wanted it to be rough. I wanted it to be kind of unfinished in a sense, and I'm not sure why I wanted that. It was just something that I was sort of going over in my head. It was something that I thought would look good, and in the end, I am very happy with the way that it turned out. So I guess my advice would be to go with what you think your mind is telling you to do. Don't fight it. Don't try to rationalize it or say, well, I don't normally work like that, so I don't really want to work like that right now. Because in the end, that's what stops you from growing. Because even though I wasn't happy with every single page that I worked on in this week's video, there were learning experiences in each and everything. Even if I didn't like it, I learned what I didn't like. And I think ultimately that's what matters. So I hope you all enjoyed this Sketchbook Sunday. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye. Yeah, I got that song stuck in my head. No! I don't need to tell my whole life story as an intro to the video. I just need to say, hey, here's the freaking video, here you go. Because I don't want to be scripted, you know, I don't want to be... Not that scripting is fake, because my main channel videos are scripted, but this channel, it just feels a little bit more casual, I guess, so I don't want to overthink it, even though doing 10 takes of anything is probably overthinking it, so...